What is up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of the Singles Battle Spot series. Today is the last day. We're going to be using this Blacephalon Naganadel team with Blacephalon, Naganadel, Lucario, Tapu Lele, Landorus variant, and Tapu Fini. Let's get started and play some games. But very fun team overall. And Naganadel and Blacephalon, these new Ultra Bees, putting in a ton of work for us. Able to pull out so many victories for us, but let us see if the team can close strong today as we get into our final episode with this team. I have been looking at the comments. A lot of people have been recommending I make my own teams. Probably will start doing that soon. It won't be for at least a couple of weeks, but maybe by the end of May, I think I could start building my own teams because I'll be out of school by then. So maybe I'll be able to. And of course, a lot of people have been asking, can I do 6v6? I will be trying to in the future, but right now let's stick with what we got. And our first opponent of the day bring a team of Gengar, Fini, Celesteela, the Heatran, Garchomp, and Thundurus variant. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. I really do love Blacephalon here. I think Blacephalon can put in a ton of work. So can Naganadel. They can both sweep. The problem is going to be that Heatran, of course. So I got to figure out what exactly is my best approach to dealing with that Heatran. I do really like Tapu Fini in this matchup, and just not sure if I exactly want to lead off with the Tapu Fini right off the bat. I don't know if Garchomp might lead. I could see Thundurus variant leading, which is pretty scary. So don't think I want Landorus in this matchup. It doesn't really help too much. It does help against Garchomp and Heatran, but otherwise doesn't really do too much. Lucario can put in some work, but I'm not sure if that's the Scarf Heatran. I could see it on this team. And Scarf Garchomp can also put in some work. I think I actually want to lead Blacephalon here and have Fini as a switch in the back and Blacephalon, because pretty much everything Blacephalon does threaten my opponent's entire team, other than maybe the Garchomp. And if the Garchomp does come out as a lead, I can just hard switch into my Tapu Fini, because I think Tapu Fini should be able to take Earthquakes decently okay. Although then again, I still am stuck between differentiating the singles and the doubles calc with Earthquake. So let's see how this is gonna go. If it is Scarf Garchomp, that would be interesting to know. But Celesteela is going to lead, which is alright for me because I do have my Naganadel set up. And now this is going to be an interesting turn. Does my opponent really want to stay in against a Naganadel is the question, because a Nasty Plot and a Fire Blast could do a lot of work. I could see maybe Garchomp for sure in the back, but I think a Nasty Plot is not a bad play here because of the fact that I could just knock out the Celesteela potentially with a +2 Flamethrower, depending on its set, of course. I do like that Nasty Plot set, unless it's like an Earthquake Celesteela, because I should be able to live any hit from the Celesteela. And the Celesteela retreats into Garchomp. I do have my Fini as a switch in. So Gengar is actually going to be the Pokemon that comes out here. And I'm completely fine with Gengar coming out, because this is a Nasty Plot, and Gengar should have a move that can knock out Naganadel. Maybe it can go for Destiny Bond. That's definitely a fair trade here. But I will just draw off my Z move here. I don't see a reason not to draw off my Z move. Get a lot of damage to this Gengar. And probably just pick up the knockout. Maybe trade Naganadel for the Gengar. But it depends on the last Pokemon, because Fini doesn't look too bad against my opponent's team alongside Blacephalon. I just gotta find out, and since I have that Focus Sash on my Blacephalon intact, seems pretty good, especially if Fire Blast does knock out the Celesteela. I'm in a pretty golden position, because Hidden Power Ice could just knock out the Garchomp if it is a Scarf variant. So let's see what my opponent is gonna do here. Very hard. And if you have Fini in the back, I'm really okay with my position, because the fact that Sludge Wave will be able to knock it out. If you put him in the Celesteela, we're playing the game with Flamethrower, Sludge Wave. I can click all those moves. So the Gengar is going to Mega Evolve. Let's see what it decides to go for, as it will be the Shadow Ball. So just trying to get damage off. Won't be able to knock out Naganadel, as Naganadel definitely going to be able to take that. And I will be able to trade for the Gengar and get my Speed Boost, which is crucial because of the fact that if it is Scarf Garchomp in the back, I'm definitely going to need it. So going to throw off my Draconium Z, the Devastating Drake, and let's see if this is going to be able to knock out the Gengar, which it should 100%, because it's a Z Draco Meteor from Naganadel. I would assume it picks up the knockout onto Gengar. It does pick up the knockout on Gengar, and that is a free beast boost. If you switched in Celesteela, it would have been taking a ton of damage and would have just been knocked out by the flamethrower anyway next turn. So let's see what's coming out here. Could be Garchomp and then pivot out into the Celesteela, which I could definitely see here, as Celesteela's just going to come in. So I get to just throw off a flamethrower, and plus 2 flamethrower, even if it doesn't knock out Celesteela, should put in range of a Shadow Ball. And then Blacephalon can come in, just click Shadow Ball twice, I feel like. So we'll just draw off a flamethrower here. We'll target down the Celesteela. How much damage does this do to Celesteela? It does a pretty good amount. Won't be able to pick up the knockout as Heavy Slam just going to come out. Finish off my Naganadel, but let's see. Does the Celesteela get like a boost or anything? It's going to be a special defense boost. Okay. Leftover Celesteela 2. I don't know that Shadow Ball range, but I will go hard with Cephalon anyway. I mean, the Celesteela is pretty weak and should be in range of either Surf or 2. So I'll just go with Cephalon here. I think I'll just draw off a Flame Charge because I'm not sure. You might hard switch into Garchomp directly, but I will just go for the Flame Charge here and try to speed up, because if I can knock out the Garchomp would be pretty nice. We're going to see the Celesteela protect, trying to get some leftovers recovery, maybe trying to survive another attack, which is completely fine as the Flame Charge does come out. It really comes down to, I just don't know if you would go hard Garchomp, because if you're hard Garchomp and you're a bulky variant, I guess I could screw over my plans, but a Flame Charge does work. Because if it's Heatran in the back, the only way I think Heatran can beat me is by going for Z Solar Beam, if it does have Z Solar Beam. So I wonder if I should just throw off a Shadow Ball or just a Flame Charge. I think I'm going to go for Flame Charge here. I'm not sure if you bring Heatran this matchup, but we'll find out. We're going to see Celesteela retreat here. What's coming out? It is going to be the Fini, actually. So not a Pokemon I was anticipating. I could have just drawn off a Shadow Ball, which would have been pretty nice. And yeah, I don't think I mind this too much, because now I don't have to worry about Garchomp in the back potentially sweeping me. So Flame Charge going to do a little bit of damage. Let's see what kind of Fini this is potentially, as doesn't look like a Calm Mind variant. Could be a Z-Move variant. I do want to go out into my own Fini because I do have Nature's Madness. I do want to go for Nature's Madness onto this Fini and weaken it, because if I do get that Nature's Madness off, 2 Shadow Balls should be able to finish it off from Blacephalon, and then Blacephalon should just be able to win the game anyway. I don't want to go for 2 Shadow Balls. Have it be like a miss a knockout barely, and then I lose my Blacephalon, and then Celesteela is able to 1v1 my Fini. So gonna go hard Fini here. Calm Mind, not too big of a concern. I do have Nature's Madness and I do have Taunt, so not the worst case scenario here, as Calm Mind is gonna be set up from this Fini. But again, I am gonna go for a Nature's Madness right here and try to pick off at this Fini and put in range where 2 Shadow Balls from Blacephalon, able to knock out Fini, and then I should just be able to win the game with Blacephalon. So of course, it comes down to a few factors. One, do I hit all of my Nature's Madness? I do connect the first one, which is really good here. I also wonder what kind of item the Fini is, if it's a berry or not. As gonna go for 2 Calm Minds, which is completely alright here, as I'm still pretty sure Blacephalon can do a KO at around, I would assume it's gonna be 35%-ish. I'm gonna be able to get this Fini at. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go for Nature's Madness. Even if I proc the berry, it's better here than if I go for 2 Shadow Balls. So we'll go for the Nature's Madness here, as I don't know if Moonblast does more, and I'll risk the accuracy right here. Nature's Madness is gonna go on the Tapu Fini, and yeah, it is a berry on Tapu Fini, so that's excellent to confirm here. And let's see, I'd put it around 33. I think 2 Shadow Balls would knock it out, but I really need to connect the next Nature's Madness. As Moonblast gonna be at 2 KO, so this Nature's Madness is gonna be the one that really counts right here. Can I connect it? Because that's gonna be an absolutely huge question. And yeah. Well, I guess that's what I get for using Nature's Madness. Fini is gonna go down, and yeah, I mean, I was going for 3 Nature's Madness in a row, but not the most accurate move. Maybe I can go for a crit now, but it's not looking too good. I had to crit the Fini once out of twice, which isn't the worst of odds. However, yeah, missing the Nature's Madness sucked. Let's see how much Shadow Ball did, because it might not even mattered, because if I didn't do a KO from Fini at the ranges it's at, but I'm pretty sure Shadow Ball would have done at least probably 25-ish. Yeah, I think it would have been able to finish it off. Surf going to come out, and if I ever needed a crit with Blacephalon, I go for it now. So maybe another play I could have also done was go for Shadow Ball right away, but I didn't want to risk that factor, because I didn't know how much Shadow Ball does to Fini originally. So let's see how much this will do to the Fini, especially since my opponent's Fini was at full. So let's see if we can get that crit. No revenge crit, and that's gonna be the game. So a little bit unfortunate because I'm pretty sure I could have just won with Blacephalon, but Nature's Man is letting me down. Not surprising though, I did go for, I believe, 3 of them in a row. So, I mean, misses 1 out of 10 times, even though I only went for it 3 times, but you know, that's Pokemon for you. So, gonna lose the first game, unfortunately. However, hopefully Blacephalon can do some work. Actually, what's interesting is my Naganadel could have actually swept in the game. I wasn't expecting the Tapu Fini, so maybe what I could have done instead was just leave Blacephalon, because if I led Blacephalon, my opponent's team was really weak to Blacephalon, and if I was just able to set up with my Naganadel, could have potentially just won the game right there. So definitely some things to look back at it. Even though I think my game plan was alright, it wasn't exactly the most reliable way, so maybe I could have went like a Naganadel sweep in the end game, for sure. But let's see what my next opponent is going to have as we're going to look for our second game. So hopefully we do get a Flame Charge Naganadel sweep, because I really want a Flame Charge Naganadel sweep. Would be really nice here. But I think the Pokemon choices overall, I think I made the right Pokemon choices that I wanted. Lucario wouldn't, well, Lucario could, no, I don't think Lucario would have worked, because I think it goes down to +1 Moonblast potential. Actually, no, I think Mega Lucario could live with +1 Moonblast and then 2 KO with Meteor Mash. So maybe Mega Lucario could have been alright, but then again, I still have to hit that inaccurate move. As we got ST as our second opponent, with a team of Charizard, Lucario, Tapu Fini, Breloom, Naganadel, and Dragonite. So, gonna be interesting how I want to approach this. I think Tapu Lele is really good here. Psychic is really good in this matchup. My opponent doesn't really have a psychic resist. Think that Naganadel also does a lot of work, and I also think, yeah, I think Lele, Naganadel, and the Blacephalon does a lot of work here. I don't see Mega Lucario doing too much work here. Doesn't really do too much damage. Landorus maybe depends on the Charizard set, but could get up rocks, which could be useful. Break sashes. I don't know who's going to be sashed between Breloom and Naganadel. I would assume Naganadel. Yet, yeah, I don't see a reason not to. Okay, what is the most likely Pokemon I could set up to win? I think it'd be my Naganadel in this case, because breaking through my opponent's team with Naganadel seems pretty simple. So I think I'm going to go Naganadel. I think I'm going to have Naganadel in the back, leave Blacephalon, and go Lele. I am thinking maybe bring Landorus to have rocks to break sashes and multi-scale, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to break it through. Also, I would be a little bit weaker to the Tapu Fini. So let's see how this is going to go. Our second game for today's episode. Can we pull a win? So what is my opponent going to lead is the question. If it's Sash, lead Breloom, could lead Breloom, could get a Spore off. Although, let's see here. If it goes for Rock Tomb, I'd be in a good position, but let's see what my opponent's going to do. Going to lead Blacephalon here and just throw off attacks, maybe a Shadow Ball or a Fire Blast, as we're going to see the Naganadel lead. Okay. That's an interesting lead here. Okay. Not sure what you're going to do here, but I can just throw off a Shadow Ball if I really want to, I feel like. I wonder if this is Sash Naganadel, because if leading Lele would have been very problematic for my opponent. I think I'm just going to fire off a Shadow Ball here. I don't see a reason not to. If you set up, I do have that Focus Sash if you want to go for an attack. So be it. We get to find out what kind of Naganadel set you are. And my opponent doesn't really have many Shadow Ball switch-ins anyway. So Shadow Ball seems like an okay play here, right here. But the question is, well, you're back to Pokemon. Dragonite could be an issue, I guess, for me. But I don't have good switches to Naganadel. But then again, what can really switch in Naganadel? It's a really tough Pokemon to switch into, as Draco Meteor is actually going to come out. So I could have actually went hard Lele here, but I was worried about it being Sash potentially. So, and just throwing off a Sludge Wave to break my Sash right there, because I don't think you need to go for Draco Meteor right away. So we'll fire out the Shadow Ball here. We'll tar down the Naganadel, do a decent amount. That's not bad damage at all. And at -2, you're not threatening my knockout on my Tapu Lele, and I think I'll prefer Blacephalon over Lele for sure, because I don't think Lele is going to live too many attacks from my opponent's team, yet Blacephalon could potentially outspeed a Pokemon in the following turns and get some heavy damage off. So I'll go my Tapu Lele. I'm pretty sure Sludge Wave is going to come out because it does cover a switch. However, -2 Sludge Wave is not going to knock out my Tapu Fini. So another Draco Meteor, which is really interesting here. Okay. So opting to go for Draco Meteor instead. I think I'm just going to fire off a Psychic. Or Size Shock. I could go for Size Shock. I think I'll go for Psychic though. Don't see a reason not to just draw off Psychics here. We'll knock out Naganadel. Naganadel switches out. That's alright. As Fini is going to come in, which is okay. I think what I can do is sack Blacephalon actually, get in my own Naganadel, and start going for Sludge Waves because my opponent doesn't have many good options otherwise. Psychic going to come out into the Fini, which does a decent amount. Also gets the special defense drop, although I'm not sure. I feel like Psychic might just barely miss the knockout onto the top of Fini. So I'm actually going to go hard Blacephalon. Right, want to go hard Blacephalon. Like, I'm worried. Yeah, I think I go hard Blacephalon here. I guess I'm worried about if Fini doubles out into Naganadel, trying to sack Naganadel, and then I give my opponent a chance to Beast Boost. But I feel like Fini would live to Psychic. But Fini is going to retreat here and go out into the Charizard actually. So this actually works out in my favor because I can just throw off a Shadow Ball and do some damage to this Charizard. I guess the only question is what kind of Charizard it is. Charizard X could potentially just Dragon Dance sweep me right here. It is going to be the Charizard X, so ooh. It also comes down to how fast the Charizard X is because the Tapu outspeeds it. I'm still in a golden position here. But now I think I don't have a reason not to just throw off Moonblast against my opponent. So Shadow Ball going to come out here. Target down the Charizard, do a fantastic amount as Dragon Dance is going to come out. My opponent, I feel like that has to have a bit of bulk on the Charizard, so maybe not max speed. So if my Tapu does outspeed the Charizard, I'm actually in a pretty good shape here. Otherwise, it really just depends on what the rest of the Charizard's moveset is, because that's where it's going to matter, because my Naganadel can potentially win this game. It comes down to whether this Charizard has Dragon Claw or Earthquake potentially. I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz, so going to knock out my Blacephalon. Blacephalon is going to go down here. Completely fine, as take a 1 HP of recall. 1 HP of recall. But we go Tapu Lele here. We can fire off a Moonblast into the Charizard slot. Or do I just want to fire off Psychic? I mean, Psychic's not a no drawback play. Psychic's a no drawback play. Because I don't want to risk it living, and I'd rather you switch into Fini right here for some reason rather than you being able to roost off the damage, or I missed a knockout with Moonblast if I do outspeed. So let's figure out if Charizard does have Flare Blitz, it will go for it and knock out my Tapu Lele. And it really just comes down to what that last move is on Charizard, as Tapu Lele is actually going to be faster, so that's really crucial here. We'll be able to knock out the Charizard with that Psychic, and at this point maybe Thunderbolt can win the game. That's what I'm looking at right now, as Fini is going to come in, but this doesn't look too bad here, because my Naganadel looks pretty good. Naganadel on my opponent's side going to come out. Really interesting play here. Are you Scarf Naganadel? Maybe that's why my opponent locked itself into Draco Meteor earlier. We'll find out, because even if you lock yourself in a Sludge Wave, I do have my own Naganadel in the back, so I don't feel like it's the worst case, as we are going to see the Sludge Wave. Let's see, because it really comes down to what kind of boost you get. Are you special attack, or are you going to get speed? So Beast Boost is going to activate, and special attack. Alright. So I'm pretty sure my own Naganadel can live a +1 Sludge Wave from my opponent, which is why I was fine with sacking Lele here. As I will go Naganadel here and go for a Sludge Wave. And Sludge Wave catches the Fini, will knock it out, give me my Beast Boost. And yeah, I don't see a reason not to just fire for Sludge Wave. Should be able to knock out Naganadel at this range. And if you switch out Naganadel, I get the Beast Boost, which will be speed, and since I'm timid Naganadel, and it looks like we're facing a modest Naganadel, I will be able to outspeed my opponent's Naganadel. Even if it switches out and comes back in to reset its move, I can go for a Draconium, not worry about a miss, and that'll be good game to my opponent. So my opponent's in a really big pin situation, I guess. Even though I probably shouldn't jinx myself after the first game, I already jinxed myself. But if you get a crit Sludge Wave, I think that's your only way out at this point. Or if Sludge Wave doesn't KO Naganadel, but not, I feel like Sludge Wave should be able to knock out Naganadel. It isn't the bulkiest Pokemon in the world, so let's see how this is going to go. Especially it's like at 20%. So yeah, my opponent's thinking hard. Gonna go for that Sludge Wave. Probably gonna go for that crit because it's probably your only way out. Sludge Wave gonna come out. Not even 75%. As Sludge Wave will come out, target down that Naganadel, does finish out that Naganadel, and now I get a Beast Boost. But the Beast Boost doesn't really matter because I will be able to outspeed Fini anyway, and Sludge Wave should just be able to knock out the Tapu Fini, and that would be good game. So as I said before, Naganadel could sweep this game, and it did. The Charizard could have been scary because I didn't exactly have the best position to pressure Charizard X. I feel like if I had to pressure Charizard X, maybe I should just went for Psychics, because two Psychics might have been able to knock out Charizard X, but it depends on the spread. But by how it took the Shadow Ball, I feel like it had to have at least a little bit of bulk. So match is going to be forfeited here, as we will be at least going 1-1 in today's episode. Hopefully 2-1, but you never know. So we're going to play our last game and see how it goes. And hopefully we're going to get a win. I would really love a Flame Charge Blacephalon sweep. We got a lot of Naganadel sweeps. We got some Blacephalon sweeps, but we haven't gotten that big Flame Charge sweep, which I'm looking at. So can we get it? Because when I did test this team, I actually did get quite a few. So can we get that Flame Charge Flame Charge Naganadel. Imagine Flame Charge Naganadel. No, it's going to be the Flame Charge Blacephalon sweep. Can we get it? As we got a 1649 rated player from Japan as our last opponent of the day, bringing the team of Mimikyu, the Breloom, Excadrill, Charizard, Rotom Wash, and Naganadel. So another Naganadel. This is going to be okay. I don't exactly have good switch-ins to this team. I do like Landorus though. Landorus is actually pretty good against my opponent's team other than the Rotom. I do like leading Landorus because Naganadel can't threaten a knockout right away. I don't know if Z Draco would knock out Landorus, but I guess it'd be a good learning experience if we find out. I do want to go my Landorus here. I think Blacephalon can do a ton of work, and I think Naganadel as the last Pokemon. Tapu Lele could potentially, but I do like having Blacephalon because of its sash. So we'll see how this goes. I think game plans, it really just comes down to what my opponent decides to bring, because I feel like I could sweep with either Blacephalon at +2, or I could sweep with not Blacephalon at +2, Naganadel at +2, or Blacephalon at +1 speed and special attack. So let's see what my opponent's gonna opt for as the lead here. Hopefully Mimikyu, because Mimikyu would be a pain for me to deal with, but usually they keep in the back, which is smart. And I do need to keep Landorus around because I do need a U-turn off. Rotom Wash is gonna lead. Alright, so I don't want to risk... Okay, so I don't want to risk the Will-O-Wisp potentially, or a Hydro Pump. The best play for me, I think, is just to go hard Naganadel, although you could Volt Switch my Landorus here, which I could definitely see as a play right here. Yet, definitely, I do want to save my Landorus. Don't want to take a Hydro Pump, and getting Naganadel in could just allow me to get a Sludge Wave off, potentially break Mimikyu's Disguise. I could also knock out the Rotom with the Draco, depending on the spread, but I'd rather just go for the Sludge Wave, as Hidden Power going to be revealed. Oh, that was a ton of damage. You have to be Choice Specs, Hidden Power Ice, the one Rotom Wash. You know what? I'm going to go for the Z Draco here. Don't go into Mimikyu. I could see you going into Mimikyu here, but we're going to see Rotom retreat into the Mimikyu. So it did come out. So maybe I went a bit too aggressive there, but I want to knock out the Rotom if possible. Very nice play from my opponent's part. Yet I don't feel too bad about this, because since the Rotom doesn't have access to recovery, it looks like, I should be good depending on how my opponent plays the rest. So could double out here. I am definitely going to go Landorus here for sure. On the... I don't think you could Shadow Snake here potentially, or you could just Swords Dance, which I could definitely see here. But I will get Landorus in, and I think you turn out into my Blacephalon and get a Shadow Ball off, because I feel like that is my best play here. But Mimikyu going to make a smart double out into Rotom. Oh, my opponent is getting the reads off. Now the question is, do you go for Hidden Power Ice again, or do you go for a Volt Switch? Because I could see you going for Volt Switch now. I think I actually want to go for a... U-turn. Expecting the Volt Switch, because I could see Volt Switch, but do you Hidden Power Ice here is the question. I'm faster, which that was not part of my plan. I do get a U-turn off, do a decent amount here, but the question is, this is not looking good. I'm going to get Naganadel in though. Naganadel is looking pretty good here as a sack, which I would like to keep Naganadel in the future, but now I'm going to have to rely on Blacephalon. Here comes the Hidden Power, going to target down my Naganadel. Naganadel is going to go down, but I do get the free switch into Blacephalon and can click Shadow Balls. So, really nicely played from my opponent so far. This Rotom's giving me a lot of trouble. as we will go Blacephalon here, and I will just draw off some Shadow Balls because Shadow Ball will be able to do a massive amount. And since I do have the Sash, not really too worried about Mimikyu. Although I don't know if Shadow Ball actually knocks out Mimikyu. That's going to be a big question. You could also just stay in with Rotom to try to pop my Focus Sash right here. But we're going to see Excadrill instead. Okay. So I'm going to break the mold here. That means you're probably going to get Rocks up. I'm guessing you're going to get Rocks up to break my Sash on the Blacephalon, which is going to be huge in this game. Do I want to go Landorus? I guess the question is what kind of Excadrill is it? If it's Scarf, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's Scarf. Because if it's Scarf, yeah, I think it would be Scarf. I'm going to go my Landorus here and U-turn out. It just really comes down to, do you anticipate this? Because if you anticipate it, it could be really bad. Rocks, I think I could deal with, but the problem is, do you double? But it's an Iron Head instead. Okay, perfect. The Iron Head is perfect here. You take the Rocky Helmet, and I can just U-turn out. And Rotom might be in Shadow Ball range. I'm not exactly too sure because the Rotom spread doesn't look too bulky, as we're going to see the Iron Head coming out into that Landorus slot once again. Okay. So we will get a U-turn off. Knock out the Excadrill, but I mean, I'm still weakened. Maybe I should have got Rocks up, but the problem is I didn't ever want Rotom to come in freely. I don't know if Shadow Ball can knock out the Rotom either. We will go out into our Blacephalon here. And we'll see what comes out. Maybe Mimikyu? No, I don't think you bring out Mimikyu. I think you bring out Rotom. Rotom is just better pressure. But the question is, do you want to risk Hydro Pump is my question. Oh, Mimikyu does come out. Okay. I do want to break the disguise if possible. I think I will go out in Landorus though. I will go Landorus here because I think Landorus is the play, because if I stay in with Blacephalon and Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak happens, I 100% lose the game. I don't know if you're going to go for the Swords Dance or a Z move potentially right here. It is going to be that Z move, so you are going to take a little bit of damage. Osium. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Going to be the never-ending nightmare going to come out. Okay. I shouldn't knock out Landorus if it's based on Shadow Claw, which I would assume so. I don't think Shadow Ball's a thing. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because now I can go for a U-turn into the Mimikyu. Rotom most likely going to come out, but I can fire off Shadow Balls. Yep. Want to keep Mimikyu around for your disguise. Going to bring out the Rotom here, and I will go for a U-turn. Really, this is a really close game. It comes down to, I think, the Shadow Ball knock out the Rotom, because if it does, I'm in a fantastic position, but if I don't, I'm in a really troublesome position. So we're gonna get my Blacephalon out. Hope that Shadow Ball can knock out Rotom, because if Shadow Ball can knock out Rotom, I think I can actually win this game. So we'll go for the Shadow Ball here into Rotom and hope it's enough, because I really need it to be enough. Come on, Blacephalon, can you do the damage? Ooh, critical hit. We don't even get to figure out, so we do knock out the Rotom right here. We'll get a Beast Boost, will be our special attack. Now, here's the thing. Mimikyu's going to come out. Does it go for Shadow Claw and a Shadow Sneak again? Because I am not too sure if you do. I mean, you could. I think I'm going to go for Shadow Ball right here. Yeah, I'm going to go for Shadow Ball into Mimikyu because I don't want you to Swords Dance, because I feel like if you Swords Dance here and I switch into Landorus, you win the game. Yeah, you would. So I'm going to Shadow Ball here because if you Swords Dance as I go into Landorus, then you could Shadow Claw the following turn and then I would be absolutely screwed. While here, if you Swords Dance, I 100% win the game right here, as it's going to be just a rough. I know you were probably expecting Landorus, but rough. Okay, I broke the disguise, which is good. I can go out in my own Landorus because you are 100% forced to Shadow Sneak here. Okay, it really comes down to this read. What? It came down to a read. You either predict the 50-50 or whether I go for Okay, that's not how I expected the game to go at all. I was hoping Shadow Ball would be able to knock out, because even though the Rotom wasn't fast, it seemed like U-turn was just doing a lot of damage, so I feel like Shadow Ball might have been able to get the knockout naturally. But the thing that questioned me was, why play rough? Maybe my opponent was hoping that -1 play rough could knock out the Landorus. Yeah, but I think even after an Intimidate, Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak will still knock out Blacephalon. I was hoping you would go for Sword Stance potentially, because if Landers comes out and actually, let me think. Yeah, I just don't know if you need to play rough there. I feel like you could have Sword Stance or went for 2 Shadow Claws, because I think it really comes down to, does -1 Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak knock me out? Because I think that's what the game came down to, because I don't know if it does, but if it does, that's definitely a big factor in this game. But otherwise, yeah, what I was anticipating my opponent to do was actually to Sword Stance, expecting my Lander, so you can Shadow Claw, then Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak. You still have your Disguise, and you would be able to win the game, because I was always switching out into Landers. I went aggressive with Blacephalon, and also, even if you went for Shadow Claw and the Shadow Sneak, right? I break your Disguise, and yeah, I break your Disguise. I could force you to Shadow Sneak my Landers potentially. There were a lot of things I was thinking of, but I was hoping maybe Earthquake from my Landers could potentially knock out the Mimikyu with the single target and the Rocky Helmet. So I think it really came down to, although I still don't know if Rocky Helmet actually, if you get knocked out by a Rocky Helmet, do you win the game or do you lose the game? I was going off Earthquake and the Rocky Helmet knocking out the Mimikyu. That's what was my game plan, which is why I was fine with losing Blacephalon right there. But really, I was expecting maybe a Sword Dance to catch my Landers, so you can Shadow Claw the Landers the following turn, then Shadow Claw the Blacephalon, as I had to break your Disguise and then Shadow Sneak. That's why I played aggressive with the Blacephalon. Hopefully, it makes some sense, because I feel like it does, but sometimes maybe it doesn't. But thank you all for tuning in today's episode of the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's Singles Battle Spot series. We went 2-1 in today's episode, finishing out this Blacephalon team. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to check out my other stuff, my social medias and my side tiers will be linked in the description down below, as well as feel free to leave a like down below, show your support, and feel free to leave a comment as well, as I do read them. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.